What's up, Otaku fam? We are the Otaku Couple back with more reactions here for the channel with more CDawgVA. Is dating in Japan hard? Rhetorical question. This isn't about a dating in Japan video. This is one of his yearly update videos that he just released not too long ago. So we're going to check it out since we haven't been reacting to his content when he used to do these yearly update videos. And I'm just curious what he has to say about it. He's lived in Japan for a while now. I'm just curious. We would like to go to Japan, if not to live for an extended period of time, but at least to visit for an extended period of time. Some way or another, we are going to spend a long time in Japan at some point in our life. That is the plan, and we're hoping for it. So thank you guys for the continued support. Be sure to comment, like, subscribe, go check out Connor.
I stared at that stuffed animal so hard I could not figure out what I was looking at and what the face was. Because I was seeing those bottom two as the eyes, and I was like, this doesn't make sense.
No.
What is this? What is that stuffed animal?
It's a baby. It's a little swirly hair and a binky.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
It's got two little bows. It's cute.
Yeah. And if you guys want to support the channel monetarily, we do have a Patreon. We react to TV shows, animes, and movies completely uncut. Links are down below. Let's hop on in. It's a bit of a long one, but I'm just curious what he's going to talk about.
How is dating in Japan? I'll just answer the question right away and get the answer out of the way so you can enjoy the rest of the video. There's often that meme that a lot of white guys or foreign guys go to Japan because they're like, I'm going to get myself a cute Japanese girlfriend. And the thing that sucks is most of the time, it completely works. You know, obviously, if you're a foreigner, there's a lot of people who really like foreign people in Japan. You can almost have an easier time dating in Japan. I know I had an easier time dating here than in London, but also that could just be my own experience and not a collective experience of everyone watching this, so I might be giving people... Point is, it's different for everyone, but for me, I found it way easier. I have been living in Japan for about 3 years now, and every year since I've moved here, I've been making a video talking about how it is to live here and how YouTube's been going and how everything's been going and telling you all about it because we all love YouTubers that don't stop talking about themselves and making videos about how happy they are. But the point is, this year has been an extremely dramatic change for me. It's probably been the busiest year of my life in some senses, which is good and bad, but I guess we can talk about that. And I just wanted to answer some of the questions that you guys had over at twitter.com and just talk about it, let you know how things are going. This channel has also changed a fair amount, and also I have other channels now that are going crazy, and I'm doing a bunch of other stuff. I feel like there's a lot to catch up on. We haven't had like a catch-up time between us and the CDawg crew. Don't call yourselves that. But let's go through some of the questions that you guys kindly...
Nope, it's too late. Call yourselves that. Go into his next Twitch chat and just say, hey, it's the CDawg crew in the house, and just watch the cringe on his face and then clip it.
Ask me on Twitter, and yeah, we'll jump right into it. How good are generally the manga selections in bookstores, konbinis outside of Akihabara and otaku areas? None of it's in English, but there is like manga literally everywhere in Japan. You will have no difficulty finding manga if that's what you want, and yeah, it's plentiful. What do you do with all the stuff you've won from your crane games? Sometimes I just give them away. I don't need all of this stuff. It's crazy. Recently, I did a charity auction on my Twitch where I gave them all away, and we raised $55,000 for charity by just selling these plushies, which is just insane and far too much money. And some of these plushies were going for like $1,000, which is stupid.
Yeah, that's crazy. When that's out.
But yeah, I try to get creative with how I dispose of things, if you will. I don't really like throwing things away in the trash. It's just such a waste. I feel like there is somebody out there who will appreciate this, so I try my best to figure out how to do it. And a lot of the time, I have YouTuber brain. I like to turn my problems into content. I'm a pro YouTuber, as you can tell. Leaving your home, we all know, is difficult, but in what way would you say it changed your life for the better since you left? I mean, it changed everything. If you go from the channel now and everything else I'm doing, everything has changed, I think, for the better. I feel that sometimes being forced to leave the comforts of home either changes you in a really positive way or can really mentally affect you in an unhealthy way. The moment I turned 18, I went to the other side of Wales, which at the time was a big deal for me, and I really wanted to go away from my parents. I love my parents so much. I really wanted that independence, you know? For me, I've always wanted to keep pushing myself, and sometimes I feel like I needed that kind of mix-up in my life to push me forward. I find that if I stay in the same place for too long, I start to kind of lean on the comforts of that place and the relationships I have. And although I love my friends from everywhere I've lived, you know, sometimes you just need to mix it up for yourself and push yourself out there. Taking that giant leap of moving to a country where I didn't know the language, probably should have studied a bit more, was incredibly challenging. But I think ultimately in the end, I feel that it helped me improve myself and how I view life and how I view everything around me. in a much more positive way. For me, it works, but it doesn't work for everyone. So kind of depends on you. Is there an advantage to being a content creator in Japan? I think just in recent years, especially since the pandemic, I feel like a lot more focus has been put on making certain types of videos in Japan and pushing it to a larger mainstream audience. I also think that Japan is going to have an even bigger content rush, if you will, in the next coming year or two. I think a lot of content creators are going to start trying to come here or move here or have long periods of time where they are here creating content, because I hate to say it, but yeah, Japan is a content goldmine. There's that.
I want it. We want it.
Geeks Plus, hit us up.
Reddit meme of thing in Japan. When/if do you leave Japan in the future? How hard do you think it'll be to adjust to the culture where you move back to? Damn. Okay. That's a great question. Okay, to give a bit of background,
I'm actually curious about
the last 2 years, I hadn't left Japan at all because of the pandemic. Getting back into Japan and leaving Japan was an absolute nightmare. I even made a video about returning to Japan at one point. That
video was
so not fun to make. It was an extremely stressful period. This year was the first year I've actually left Japan a few times. I was gone for about 2 months at one point, which was crazy. And during that 2-month period, after about a month of being outside of Japan, I was like, I really want to go back. I think there's a lot of comforts in Japan. The safety, the convenience. Oh my God, the convenience. Really stuff that you cherish every single day and you really appreciate that Japan has just nailed. And it sucks because Japan has some really big things that I don't like and I like in other countries. And it's like, it'll be definitely hard for me to go back. What is one thing you didn't expect to enjoy about living in Japan but end up loving? Definitely public bathhouses and onsens. I knew I was going to like onsen, but I didn't know I was going to become like obsessed with it. Literally any reason, I always try to book a place with a public bath. I don't know why. I've become obsessed with this idea of just bathing, not in my shower or not in my bath. I can just bath in that place, get really clean, come back to my room and just relax. I don't know what it is. Go into the bathhouse or the onsen with the boys. It's just such a bonding experience. It feels like the Predator meme where they handshake, but like times 10. It makes me sound like I love being nude. I just love getting my medium-sized pee-pee out. I can't help myself. You know, if you do come to Japan and you're a bit scared about, you know, maybe getting naked in front of other people, I'd say just give it a shot. It's a great experience and it's a ton of fun. Do you see yourself streaming more hours at any point? Do you plan to do more charity events like the recent one? So if you guys didn't know, I did a big charity event that was about 8 days long where me and Chris cycled from the very top of Hokkaido to the very bottom, about 750 kilometers over 500 miles for over 8 days, and I live streamed the whole thing for charity and we raised a whopping $316,000,
wow,
the Immune Deficiency Foundation, which is insane. And I definitely want to do something like that again. I love doing events of charity and kind of mixing in challenge aspects. It was very difficult, but I think it all paid off and it all worked out in the end. And there will be a video about that on the Connor Dog YouTube channel, which if you haven't checked out, you should. I guess to explain to the main channel folks a little bit about what has happened with the channel in the past year, you'll have noticed that I'm uploading less. I used to do uploads once a week and now I do once every 2 weeks. What happened is I got busy, and I feel like every content creator does this. They're doing really well, they get big, and then they slow down, right? And it's frustrating to see. But I'd like to think that it hasn't happened from me being lazy. If anything, I've just put so much more on my plate. As you guys know, I'm obviously part of the Trash Taste podcast, Represent. We do an episode every week, and we most mainly do After Dark sometime every week. So that's already a lot more work, and
they went on tour
that I've lost. And we have a lot of stuff that we're doing. We're going on tour. By the time this video is out, I think we'll still be on tour. And then on top of that, I basically kind of became a streamer. I kind of had this weird awakening where I started streaming a little bit.
No, Connor is straight just a streamer now at this point. I mean, this dude is live it feels like all the time.
Dude.
Which kudos.
Yeah.
Streaming for me, like for us, was always one of those things that like we had to stop trying to juggle both.
Yeah.
So we had to pick one. And we chose you guys. We chose the YouTube content. So streaming just took a huge backpedal. And
I think that's what makes this kind of harder. It's not saying that content creators don't work, because we do. Like, this is a full-time job.
Yep.
But we don't have the ability right now to put content creation like full 110%. Like, he can kind of balance between the content creation, between his own channel, Trash Taste, and streaming, whereas we have to wake up every morning and do our 9-to-5 job and then do our full-time content creation.
Yep.
It's a lot, so we don't have.
Then you try to throw in, let's stream 3 hours 5 days a week.
It just did not work. It did not work.
We can't do it anymore. But so for anybody that misses our streams, we're sorry.
Well,
one day. We'll get back to it.
For fun here and there, and it became extremely addictive and fun for me. I don't know why. It was kind of scratching that content itch that I had for a very long time, where I wanted that immediate feedback. Because, you know, I've been filming so many videos in Japan. The videos take like upwards of 5 to 6 months to make. I mean, we did my dream video, which was going to the voice acting
that
school
video was crazy.
studio for an anime. Like, that video was 6 months plus to nearly a year, I think, total to make. And I feel like I just needed that itch of making something cool and having that immediate feedback that streaming gave me. And I accidentally became, I think, a big-ish streamer. Streaming was kind of this side hobby for me that just started doing better and better and better, to the point where I think it's like on the same level as my main channel, if not more. And it's hard to come to terms with internally, because I don't want to abandon my main channel. It's, you know, it's like 7 years. It's like my child that I've raised, and it would feel stupid to kind of not upload stuff. So I'm never going to stop uploading stuff on this channel. It's not that kind of, I do it because I feel that if I don't, I'm going to become irrelevant or any shit like that. I don't care about that. I think I'm just having the most fun now that I've ever had with YouTube.
And that's
I'm very blessed
awesome
to say that. If you are a person who only views this channel, consider checking out my other stuff. I'm sure most of you have, but I really like what I'm doing over there, and I feel better for it. To answer your question one in a long, extremely convoluted way, do I see myself streaming more hours at any point? I would like to become a more consistent streamer. I feel like one of the things holding me back from growing even more as a streamer is that I'm too sporadic. I don't have a schedule. I just kind of stream whenever I feel like it. I normally try to do 3 to 4 times a week, but I'd love to get to like 5 consistently. Maybe if some giant multimedia conglomerate wants to pay me to stream on their platform, I will definitely do that. And I would love a deal where they pay me a lot of money and I can retire. Please. Everyone is getting a deal but me. How often?
Same.
You heard the man, YouTube. That is crazy though. I mean, I don't know if you know about that, but like a lot of like big Twitch partners are getting bought out by YouTube to stream like exclusively on their platform. A lot of people have moved over for that. So every time you see like a trailer for a streamer moving to YouTube, that's because they were bought to go over to YouTube. So Connor tried to get a little YouTube game.
And you see VTuber commercials in the streets of Tokyo. How much compared to standard anime related stuff? I mean, there's still definitely way more anime stuff. But in the past 2 years, the VTuber stuff has gone from like minimal to goddamn everywhere. The other day, I went to the convenience store and I found a bag of crisps or chips, if you're American, God forbid. There was just a hololive bag of crisps. And I was like, what? Why? But yeah, the VTuber stuff has blown the up in Japan. I mean, it's blown up everywhere, and it's doing crazy well. Has living in Japan changed your perspective and changed what you think of Japan? I mean, you can't live in a country without having it affect how you view that country if you've never lived in it before, right? It's just gonna happen. It's not changed much. I knew that Japan was awesome. I knew that it had its problems, and I still kind of feel that way. I feel like the pandemic showed a lot of the country's true colors. A lot of countries became very apparent with their beliefs and became very selfish. My home country, the UK, didn't do a great job, and neither did Japan. But I don't really know any country that handled it like great. Like, I felt like every country wasn't ready and was shit, except for that one person from like Norway who's like, my government's the best. I'm so happy I live in Norway. Off, Norways. Why are you so happy all the goddamn time? Will you be making another audio manga? Probably not, to be honest with you. That video, although I'm extremely proud of it and I'm very happy with it, was the type of thing that I'm happy to be like, I did this. Never again. The amount of work that it took from pretty much everyone involved with it, the amount of stress I had to endure for about 2 months was on a level that I've never experienced in my life. And I had to read and listen to this manga 30, 40, 50 plus times, and it was driving me insane. Although I got paid very nicely for it, it was just so stressful to the point where I don't think I could take it on again unless they literally just were like, hey, here is fuck you money. Take this, gonna retire after it, make it, and I'd be like, yeah, let's do it again. Fuck it, yeah, why not? Over the past 3 years, you've cultivated great relationships with incredible people. How do you go about breaking the ice? I don't know. Don't worry about it. Just be yourself and don't take yourself too seriously. I think the key to life is having a drop, maybe a bucket, self-deprecation, just, not thinking that everything you need to do is perfect and that, you're human, and have fun with life. I feel like when you're having fun, everyone else can tell that you're having fun, and that really reflects. What things in Japan do you think are underrated, underappreciated, or should get more exposure than they do? Ooh. I'll be honest with you, pretty much nothing in Japan is underexposed or underrated. Anything that you have heard about is probably good or decent. There's a lot of things that, it just depends on what you enjoy and what you like. I'd say that there's enough stuff online now where every person could probably make like the perfect itinerary for their travel. to Japan. It's kind of whatever you think sounds cool, might be cool for you. So just give it a shot. First off, I'm sorry if my wording is weird. English is my third language. This man's flexing. God, I'm sorry. English is my 20th language. To thee I bestow upon thy question. I was wondering how you can do so consistently with all of your content/works. I see a bit of the third language there. Still, man. Correct. Absolutely nutty. Do you have some tips for us so we can do things more consistent? I feel like I could always be more consistent. I think having fun, God, I hate that answer, is like the most important part to being able to do something consistently. I think about all the stuff that I don't want to do, and I am not consistent at doing it because I put it off and I do other things. It's really shitty and tough to tell you, but if you have fun with it, it'll be easy to stay consistent. The hard part is then taking, okay, how do I have fun with something for 7 years? For me, I had to just keep reinventing it, and I had to keep changing things. I had to keep figuring out what I kind of gravitated towards each year, making so that I always stayed fun for me, and making sure I always had fun with my content creation. So it's kind of more about what you enjoy than staying consistent, in my experience. Would you rather Japan finally get rid of using fax machines or have a bank in Japan that is actually... Okay, well, first of all, I hate this argument. Japan has done like 20 billion other things that are way more dated, like using floppy disks. Like, they still use those in some places. Even Western countries still use fax machines in some situations. I feel like the fax machine is outdated, but has its place in certain places. Floppy disks, get them the f out of here! Besides Tokyo, what are some places that are more accommodating, welcoming for foreigners? Kyoto, Osaka, you know, really big tourist destinations are generally nicer. But even there, you know, in the big tourist spots, you could have some bad experiences. Some people are still going to be rude. If I'm completely honest, if you come to Japan and it happens, don't let it affect you. It can be frustrating because every country has people in them who don't like foreigners. It's just kind of how it is. And you can't really let that affect you. At the end of the day, you are a foreign person in the country, and it is probably going to happen at some point. And you'll have a great life if you are nice and polite and you make an effort to learn the language and the customs. You'll be fine. No one will care. And you'll have a great time. I would say if you want to have a little bit of an easier time in Japan, just learn a little bit, learn a tiny bit of Japanese. It'll go such a long way, and people will appreciate it like a million times more. In which aspects do you think you've changed the most since you've arrived in Japan? Definitely just being happier. I think I'm the happiest I've ever been. So yeah. How many Japanese friends have you made? How does it usually start off, and has it gotten easy for you to make friends now? I have a bunch of Japanese friends who speak English, maybe like 1 or 2 Japanese friends who don't speak any English. The sad truth is that my Japanese is just not good enough to make a deep, meaningful connection and actually articulate perfectly how I'm feeling at any given time. But
Fair enough.
In general, Japanese people don't make friendships the same way that we make friendships. Just the way we generally converse and how we become friends is completely different from how they do it in Japan. And if you can't speak Japanese perfectly, it's really hard to go through all the formalities and go through all the stuff that you need to do to really become friends with someone in Japan. Unfortunately, I definitely fall into that stereotype of foreigner moves to a country and only really makes friends with other foreign people. I know it's not the best thing on the world, but hey, it's what ended up happening, and it's just easier, it's comfort, and when you're working all the time, it's tough. I'd love to make more Japanese friends, but I'm rarely ever in the environment to do so. Considering that you visited the UK after so long, did you experience culture shock the other way around? I definitely experienced culture shock going back. Having people talk to me in the street was like, what the f***? You know, the UK is somewhat clean, but compared to Japan, it's, you know, it looks really dirty. But I did miss a lot of things about the UK that I absolutely adored going back to. By moving to other countries and experiencing different cultures, you can kind of pick up the things that you like about that culture, you can pick up the benefits of it, and you can kind of bring that back with you. You know, in Japan, maybe you take care of your trash more, and you hopefully bring the good aspects of every culture with you to hopefully make the perfect being on Earth, which I am trying to be. I know that the UK and British culture gets memed on into oblivion online. You know, it kind of deserves it a little bit, but I'm so proud to be Welsh. I look back really fondly on all my memories of the UK. I think almost leaving the UK in some senses made me more fond of the culture. Makes me really proud of where I'm from. I just wish the country wasn't so shit right now. Stop farting. That's not even the question. How ready were you when you guys moved to Japan? Were you in a comfortable position to take the risk and start Trash Taste, or was it more of a leap of faith? Many of us dream to move, but money is the issue. I was doing pretty well for myself. I moved to like Saitama, which is way up north, and was a little bit inconvenient, but I had space and I had a big place because I couldn't really afford to go further into Tokyo with the amount of money I was willing to pay. When I moved to Japan, I was definitely financially stable. I think that helps a ton when you're in a foreign country because there's just so many costs that you can't anticipate and so many things you need to buy that you didn't realize you have to buy. And maybe the rent is a bit more than you anticipated and there's an extra deposit. So whatever you think you need to save a little bit extra when moving to a foreign country. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? For videos and streaming, I can definitely still see myself doing this in 5 years. I'm still obsessed with it. I always just want to be creating stuff in some capacity. I think I became a lot more creative the older I became, and YouTube and Twitch has really allowed me to pursue ideas that I never would have been able to do in my life. I could see myself living in Japan for another 5 years. I don't think 10. It really depends on how well everything's going here. Like right now we have trash taste. Maybe in future I'll be traveling a lot more and I'll live between places. I don't know. It really just kind of depends on how financially stable I am and what I really want to do with my life. And do I want to be back close to family? And like, it's just a whole ton of different factors that I can't really anticipate. But right now, maybe I'll be in Japan in 5 years. After visiting the UK and coming back to Japan, did you feel like you were coming home when arriving in Japan? Yeah, in a weird way I did. But I also think as a YouTuber and also as someone who's addicted to video games, wherever my main PC setup is, that's home. Have you ever considered going on holiday to other...
That's a fair
That
answer.
was a fucking mood right there. I feel them.
You're silly.
Asian countries, food is everything for me. Southeast Asia has like the best food on earth, and I just need to go there and taste it. I just can't. Bro, when I see pictures of Malaysian food, I'm just like ravenous. I'm like, let me have it.
You what?
Can you just bring it down a couple notches?
Maybe. Have you seen
Yes.
the food?
Yes.
It's me.
If you
Every
weren't a
time I see
YouTuber in
pretty
Japan,
things.
what other jobs do you see yourself doing? I'll be real with you. I think if I wasn't doing what I was doing in Japan, I think
The boba.
I would leave. I am so fortunate to have a job where I can just make stuff that I like and sometimes just make videos about cool stuff in Japan and live off that. You kind of get a lot of the pluses of Japan without having to participate in the normal work culture, which is brutal in Japan. It almost feels like a cheat or a life hack in a way, and it's strange. I just don't think I'd live here if I wasn't a YouTuber. If I fell off L+ ratio on YouTube or I quit YouTube or whatever, I would definitely still try to find some kind of work that allowed me to be self-employed or have some kind of governance over my schedule. I just value that too much now. Do you miss the times when you were smaller on Twitch and could follow the chat questions and suggestions for gameplay? Sometimes, but also having a really crazy Twitch chat is really fun too. And when it's going fast-paced, just fire off those neurons in my brain. How much your life in Japan affected your streaming career? Time zone for streaming is so important, and I'm on like the worst time zone for streaming in terms of if you're trying to get the biggest audience possible, because you know obviously the American viewers are the most of the viewers. I have to stream a lot more in the day, but it's also really nice because I get to stream really early in the morning and I get to feel productive at like 2 p.m. and I also get to stream in the evening and play some degenerate games. Like when Elden Ring was out, all I did was play Elden Ring all day, every day. It was, oh my god, Elden Ring was so good. Has there been anything in Wales that you wish you could bring with you to Japan? Pub atmosphere in Wales is like 10 times better than that in England. We're so much cozier, so much more fun, so much more vibrant in Wales than we were in England. Sorry, England. I just wish I could bring that pub culture from Wales to Japan, but I'll never be able to. Do you think you have become addicted to crane games? Weirdly enough, yes. Whenever I see crane games, when I'm like traveling, every now and then I might just play one. Like I'm like an addict getting his fix. I don't know. If I see it, I'm like, I really gotta play it. This one looks easy. I gotta try it. Any tips for learning Japanese? Honestly, anything that gets you into it is good. The most important thing is talking. And I think for me, the biggest help, and this probably sounds like a nightmare for introverts, was going out to bars and just speaking with people in Japanese. And I was really bad at it, but I did manage to hold some conversations, even when I basically knew nothing. When you're actively using the words that you're learning, you memorize them so much more. I'd say that like most of the Japanese I know now is kind of in like that muscle memory where I don't need to think, I just say it. And now my problem is that I actively need to study to learn more words to put in that muscle memory category. Going out and talking is the big one. Do that, and you'll learn so fast, I promise you. No matter how much money a person should bring in Japan for a week-long vacation, it's tough. It's whatever you want to spend. But I will say, now is a great time to come to Japan and spend your money because the yen just went to shit. It like lost a third of its value in like a month.
I know. It's bro. It's like a shame, but also for us, yes.
Right. Baby, I want to go.
I know.
I want to see the pretty things.
I know,
baby. Be getting any better. So coming to Japan right now is probably a good idea before all the prices start to bump back up. And if you can get in, I'd say a great time to come is from November to March. Amazing time. Any plans to cycle more or less the entirety of Japan? I really love tuning into the cycling charity, and I would love the potential to see more of it in the future. I think me and Chris definitely want to do it again at some point. We just don't know where. I really want to do another big charity event. I feel that every big creator should do charity events at some point. I feel like it's such a waste to have this big platform and not be able to kind of have good come from it. I think the more financially stable I've gotten has made me really want to give back more, you know, because, you know, YouTubers make a lot of money. We don't need more money. So there'll definitely be more charity events in future. So yeah, that's kind of like my yearly update about living in Japan and how it's been. And I think there's a lot of overarching thoughts and feelings that I have about stuff that I wasn't able to articulate, and I never will be able to. But I'm hoping that 5 years I'll have like 8 of these videos, and it'll be cool to look back on each year and see how my opinion on stuff has changed every single year. It's kind of weird. I've been making less YouTube stuff, but I feel like I've been making more content overall. But I feel that I'm in a better place than I've ever been. I feel like I'm happier, I feel like I'm healthier, and I feel that I'm really excited for where things could go from here. The past 2 years have been a monumental change for me as a creator. Just everything has blown up exponentially. You know, Trash Taste has helped insanely, and the viewers there have been awesome, and the viewers on here have been really supportive. It's just been wild, and I just want to say a massive thank you to all of you who have been supporting me. I'd like to think that I'm doing a good job, and I'm making those people who have been following my YouTube career proud, and I'm going to keep pushing to make better content on everything that I'm doing. I'm sorry that there's less CDawgVA videos. I'd like to think there's still, the quality is still there, but I'm just kind of shifting some of my efforts to other stuff. If you aren't a watcher of my Twitch stuff, I'd say, hey, give it a shot. We upload all of the videos on the ConnorDog YouTube channel as well, and I think those videos are awesome. Definitely a different kind of vibe
that
to
video
this channel.
Was funny.
I'm really excited for where YouTube and my career is going to go from here. It just seems to be only going up, and I'm very grateful and thankful. This audience has been amazing. You guys have been awesome, and again, thank you. Just a final thank you. Every YouTuber says thank you to their audience and is like, haha, thank you, I'll go and cash my checks now. The gullible audience. Like, it's been awesome. And I think if I wasn't having as much fun and seeing all the positive feedback from you guys, I would definitely be doing this less. But overall, thank you. I hope you continue to enjoy my content. Thank you guys so much for being awesome, and I can't wait to see you guys again in a year when I do this yearly recap. I guess that's it. Bye.
That was cute.
Well, there you have it. God, I want to go to Japan so bad.
I want to go too.
Of course, the yen's the cheapest it's ever been on our worst financial year to date.
I'm sorry, baby.
It's okay, baby. God dang Virginia.
I want to be in Japan.
I know, me too. Well, another good yearly recap video from Connor. If you're not already, be sure to go check out all of his channels and his Twitch channel. It's a good time. All of his content is good. It's a good time all around.
It is.
Shouts out.
And I'm glad he's
shouts out to Trash Taste for going on tour. That shit's crazy. Geeks Plus, hit us up. The rest of y'all, let us know which Connor video you want us to react to next down below in the comments, and we'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.